Hey guys, this is a little slideshow I put together to show some of the highlights of what it took for me to install a newer generation seat into my 1987 R10. My main goal for this project was to keep the modern charm of the original bench seat architecture, but have more support and modern bolstering and full functionality. I wanted the seat to slide back and forth and tilt forward. I see so many of these modern seat retrofits where they just slam them in and lock them down so there's no back and forth adjustment and no access behind the seat. That just wasn't going to fly for me. But first, a disclaimer. Yes, my welds are bad. I have zero formal training and not a lot of welding hours under my belt. And no, the seat would definitely not pass muster with the NHTSA. But it worked pretty well and is a far cry from a total hack job, which is all that matters to me. I started at my local junkyards. I sourced a charcoal-colored back seat from an '08 Avalanche, which set me back $50. And I found a bench seat from an '84 Square in another yard for $25. Because I wanted to retain the bench seat architecture and functionality, I decided early on that I'd try to fit the Avalanche seats onto the C10 frame. But the Avalanche seats are way thicker than the OG C10 seat, so I hacked the C10 frame till there wasn't much left. Because the Avalanche seat pads are so much thicker, I needed to lower the C10 frame so my head wouldn't be rubbing the cab ceiling. I did that by chopping parts of the C10 frame where the tracks mount and other areas that would rub the floor once it was lowered. I did the passenger side first, and then took what I learned and applied it to the driver's side. The upper portions of the Avalanche seats are quite heavy, so I added a bit of bracing to the C10 frame and some rest in the middle area to help the crossbar carry the load. I used a mix of the original Avalanche seat brackets and fabricated one of my own and welded them to the crossbar. This allowed me to bolt the seat backs to the crossbar. I wanted a cup holder that was directly connected to the seat, not something that sits on the seat or is wedged under it. So I fabricated and welded together a sturdy bracket system. I used a cut-down cup holder from a GM vehicle, can't recall the specific model now, and bolted the whole assembly to the front of the C10 frame. To help tie the originally separate Avalanche seatbacks together, I used a piece of thick sheet metal screwed between the two. I reinstalled the OE seatback covers, but added my own rubber bumpers up top so the seat could rest against the cab. This particular seat had a fold-down armrest with cup holders. Since I loved leaning on the armrest and already had a cup holder where I wanted it, I decided to remove this one. I had a local upholstery shop stitch in a new cup holder delete panel in the original armrest cover. After all that work, the seat looked great in my gray themed interior. It was comfy and supportive, and it worked just like I wanted it to. But after all that work to lower the C10 seat frame, it was still just a little too tall for 6-foot me. So, with a heavy sigh, I sold it and am now back to the original bench seat till I can work up a version 3.0. I hope my slideshow gives you some ideas on how you might make a modern seat not just fit, but work well in your Squarebody. Thanks for watching.